Anyway, let's continue with these
look,
dumbasses.
The Inflation Reduction Act is reducing our debt, and therefore that reduction of debt will end up paying for this $300 billion or $500 billion, whatever it ultimately is, of debt. So you don't really have to worry about it, the rest of you. No, this is about the fact that Joe Biden wants to get reelected. He knows that 53% of people who are under the age of 35.
Hasanabi is an undercover right. Yes. That's why I like to make the best possible argument against the right all the time. So that what? Because I like playing in new game +7 difficulty. So that, there are more people who have better arguments against my secret worldview.
I disapprove of him, and this is one of the ways that he wants to get their vote. He wants to buy their vote. Now, the whole idea is part of a system that is so corrupt because the cost of education is going up not with inflation, but it is literally going up in line with the federal loan expansions. So the universities understand that the more these kids get federal loans, the more we can increase the price of tuition at the universities. So this is a giveaway to a group of people that the president needs to get elected. The sad part about all this is there's no talk of responsibility, no talk about contract law, the fact that you went in and you said you wanted to borrow money, you signed on the dotted line, you agreed to pay, you live in an economy, Joe Biden, that you're bragging about that's so terrific that there's no problem. If you want a job, you can get a job. And yet they're saying, look, if you're from a household of up to $250,000, we'll give you $10,000, $20,000.
It's so funny. Like, they just keep using the $250,000 metric. It's like, dude, they shouldn't have even they should not have means tested that. It's just a talking point. It doesn't matter. The most effective counter to that is to showcase the numbers. It's literally like 28 million people that have taken less than $10,000 and $20,000 in loans. And it's the broad majority is like literally at 17 years old. Exactly. I was 17 when I signed. It's same with most people. You have people rolling on the floor here? What?
If you can't pay back your student loan. What about the senior citizens? What about the veterans? What about the people who really need it?
Fucking dickheads, man. I hate them. I hate them so much. They only bring up homeless people, veterans, and senior citizens exclusively to use that as a talking point against people. That's the only time the thought of a senior citizen or a veteran crosses the minds of these fucking demons.
No, this is part of a socialist state. This is part of the state.
That's right.
And Jesse, you're right about the concept of
That's right.
the ideology. Putting these kids through the universities, indoctrinating them, making the universities rich, making the rest of us pay for it. My heart bleeds for the people who actually went out and paid for their loans, who
That's
went
right,
without things, whose family said, I'm sorry, we can't afford to pay for your loans. Look, my family paid for my education. I'm sure they had better things to do with their money. I didn't have to take out a loan because they paid for it.
She admitted it! She admitted it! Fuck! Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up!
Up to $250,000, we'll give you $10,000, $20,000 if you can't pay back your student loan. What about the senior citizens? What about the veterans? What about the people who really need? So you're right about the concept of the ideology. Putting these kids through the universities, indoctrinating them, making the universities rich, making the rest of us pay for it. My heart bleeds for the people who actually went out and paid for their loans, who went without things, whose families said, I'm sorry, we can't afford to pay for your loans. Look, my family paid for my education.
Fuck you! 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 Fuck yourself! Fuck yourself! Fuck yourself! I have so much more to say about her that is just the terms of service violation. So just think about every terms of service violation. Think about every single one of them because I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it just like you, okay? Holy shit. Oh my God. Oh my fucking God. Shut the fuck up. Oh, my family paid for it. Yeah, no shit. That's why you don't have a fucking take on this. That's worth anything. You dumb motherfucker. Also, When you went to school, you 900-year-old vampire, school was like $40, okay? So shut the fuck up!
I'm sure they had better things to do with their money. I didn't have to take out a loan because they paid for it, but they worked hard for their money. This is a giveaway, and it's disgusting.
What about those people who worked overnights? Right.
This is a giveaway to people who didn't have parents who could just pay for their college education. It's disgusting. They admit it. They're just... I told you this before. The moment that the Democrats do anything, reactionary Republicans have to react. They have to react against any level of progress. And how do you react to something that is otherwise positive? By just openly giving the game away, showcasing your horrific disdain for the working poor immediately. Immediately, she turned around and was like, it's fucked up. Oh my God, it's so good.
Right, to pay to go to school. This just in, our very own Peter Doocy was at the press briefing. We hadn't had a press briefing in a while. This exchange occurred.
How can the country afford such a massive handout?
If you look at what this president has done, if you look at the end of this coming end of the fiscal year, $1.7 trillion that we have deduced, brought down the deficit.
Who is paying for this?
What we are saying is the work that this administration has done, the work that the Democrats in Congress has done, is actually there.
But when you forgive debt, you're not just disappearing debt. So who is paying for this?
And then I'll give you the second part. We lifted the pause, right? We're going to lift the pause.
It's debt owed to the federal government. It's debt owed to the federal government. It's debt owned to the federal government. No one is paying for it. Maybe down the line they could by raising taxes on the wealthy, but they're not. Except they kind of did already with the IRA, which is already taxing the wealthier corporations. That's what they're talking about. As far as if you care about deficit reduction, okay? If you care about deficit reduction, which no one does, they only use it as a talking point, except maybe Democrats do. Democrats do care about deficit reduction because they're fucking stupid. But other than Democrats, no one authentically cares about deficit reduction. But even if you did, the IRA does that. Shut the fuck up.
At the end of this year, which is going to matter, right? Which is going to offset a lot of what we're doing as well.
How does that offset it, Tyrus?
The answer is don't ask, don't tell. Like that's literally, she's not going to give him the answer.
No, not the IRS. IRA, the Inflation Reduction Act.
So I
really want to hear from this fucking clown, dude. Oh, thank God. I mean, that guy has just the same bona fides as all those other fucking shitheads. So it's not that crazy that they have this dude, chirping about this shit.
Constantly refer to him as the president, chief, and enabler, because this is what an enabling parent does, and he governs the same way he parents. He enables. So what does he do? He throws money on everything. How do you appease your voters? That 60% of those poor, rich white folks who make $125 a year that need the extra help, you give them money. Why? So maybe they'll vote. So maybe they'll take that extra $20,000 or $10,000 they get and they put it in donations right back. So it's recycling. So I think that's probably the way he looks at it. But this is how this administration is. They're always doing this. That new deal that signed, they talked about all these great things they're going to do for the American people. The one that really stood out to me was they talked about type 1 diabetes and the insulin, and it's going to be lower and you're going to be saving so much money. I have a type 1 diabetic in my house. So for this, I was like, okay, maybe I disagree with a lot of things, but I'm with this. But then you read the fine print. Now, the stuff for the people that he cares about and he's taking care of, their stuff comes in really quick. It's already going to start kicking in the end of this year. I won't see and I luckily am blessed to where I can afford these insane prices on insulin, but you won't see that change in price till 2026.
Oh,
so
that's
no relief in sight. That is what you call gaslighting and loophole. They played on.
I love that, dude. He said Joe Brandon is gaslighting. Joe Brandon is gaslighting and girl bossing America. Joe Brandon is gaslighting and girl bossing America into thinking that, they're going to have their insulin payments coming in.
On the American people's feelings, we're going to get lower medications and it's really going to help our homes. Yeah, in 2026. But this 60% of Jesse's favorite people they're going to get theirs right away. And that's what you have when you're an enabler. He takes care of what's most important to him, and the hell with us.
Wait, what? Every Republican, including everyone sitting at that table, literally opposed the IRA, you fucking idiot. What is he talking about? Like, literally every Republican and the network that he is currently sitting on the table of wholeheartedly opposed it. Now he's like, well, it's not fast enough. He's using his finishing move. What is his finishing move? Deciding? Actually, I mean, that is the most Republican thing you can do. Wasn't it Chuck Grassley? I tweeted about this a while ago, but a couple days back. Chuck Grassley straight up fucking went back to a town hall and was openly talking about how he passed the pharmaceutical bill within the IRA when he literally voted against it multiple fucking times. It's just one of my favorite things that Republicans do always is like they stand against any sort of legislative action that will help people and then only to turn back and take credit for it. Here it is. Here it is. This is it. Here you go.
Probably hundreds of thousands of Iowans who are struggling to pay their insulin. And why can't we?
That's how you know that shit was good, by the way. Wait for the Republicans to start taking credit for how, student loan debt relief was their idea, actually.
Probably hundreds of thousands of Iowans who are struggling to pay their insulin. And why can't we do something about that?
I'm for the $35 cap. And
He's for the $35 cap.
Shaheen.
No, he's not.
From New Hampshire, Senator Collins from Maine are working on a bipartisan bill to do that. It would also include something that's very important, other than just a cap. Because if you just cap it and don't do something with what we call the pharmacy benefit managers, PBMs we call it for short, all they're going to do is shift the price someplace else, and they're going to continue to profit the same. The PBMs are the middle people between the pharmaceutical companies and you as a consumer. And it's a very opaque business. Don't know much about it. And I have written to the FTC to study that, and if they're make recommendations to it. And if Cantwell, a Democrat from Wyoming or from Washington State, and I have a bill in that got out of her Commerce Committee because she's chairman of that committee, that would try to rein in the PBMs as well, because the bill that passed the House doesn't do anything with PBM, or I mean, it's to the president now. It doesn't do anything with PBMs, and if you don't do something with PBMs, you aren't going to solve the problem.
But there was a chance to cap that insulin at 35 for everybody in that bill, and it didn't pass.
It would have just capped it for the people that are on commercial health insurance. It wouldn't have done anything for the uninsured.
But so that would have been something.
So the Kennedy amendment that lost on a vote of 50-50 that I voted for would have done it for the uninsured people.
Yeah, it didn't go far enough. That's why. Dude, I love that. He's like, oh, dude, it's just because it didn't go far enough that I didn't vote for it. It's like, shut the fuck up, you fucking bitch. Here. Get Mao Zedong. Anyway.
Harold, in the green room, you were saying you thought that Biden's cancellation of debt was a great idea, and
you're channeling like summation.
I'm trying to be like Greg, but give us your take.
So two things.
Everyone that sits on Fox 5, the person that sits on that seat, for those of you who don't know, has to say some liberal shit, for the record. So if he says some like based shit for Fox News, understand that that's the reason.
I have a problem with this. Number one, I think Jason Furman is right. This is going to cause inflation. This is not
never mind, not today.
Going to reduce inflation. And you made the point, Dana, I think rightly so. The $300 billion that the Inflation Reduction Act devoted towards debt reduction, you wipe that out. Two, what I'm having a hard time getting my head around is the fairness issue. For families who say...
Never mind, they're not doing it today. Usually they do that. Everyone, like, it's usually fucking mustachioed, mustachio man. What the fuck's his name? I'm forgetting his name now. God damn it. Geraldo. Yes, thank you. Geraldo is the one who fucking plays the role of the liberal.
Saved for family, for those who took out loans. I took out a loan for the third year of law school at the University of Michigan. I paid my loan back. Bless my parents paid me.
To be fair, though, this is the liberal take. Liberals are against this, too, because they're fucking... Well, media liberals are, because they're scum fucking parasitic, wealthy, elitist pieces of shit. I despise motherfuckers that try to cut this as an argument that is, like, somehow against the working class. It's bullshit. I hate the anti-education argument. I know I joke a lot about, like, article heads or you know, I joke a lot about, like, PhDs and, like, people who did too much college and are now, like, I don't know, talking about doing bodies in spaces all the time. But ultimately, I'm not anti-education. Education is profoundly important, even as an experience, even if you're not, like, actually learning anything really all that important. Okay? And these motherfuckers that stand against it, they don't actually stand against it. Their kids are going to go to college. They know their kids are going to go to they know their kids are going to go to college.
Me through college, paid my way through college in the first 2 years of law school. I think my dad thought law school was only 2 years. But the fairness issue for families who've done it, the fact that they didn't think about in this whatever they did yesterday and however they may do, and it could very well.
Did you just say thank my dad?
Who've done it, the fact that they didn't was only 2 years. First 2 years of law school. I think my dad thought law school was only 2 years. But the fairness issue for families who've done it, the fact that they didn't think about in this whatever they did yesterday and however they may do, and it could very well.
Wait, oh, he paid back his daddy. He got a loan from his daddy, and he paid him back. Oh, got it.
Up in court, like you say, Judge. Why not figure out a way to give tax credits to families and to individuals, to students who borrowed money and paid it back?
His dad paid for the first 2 years. His dad paid for undergrad and 2 years of law school. Oh, got it.
Or those families who saved money like our families did, and many American families have.
Motherfucker, you're 70 years old. Shut the fuck up. You are not in the same predicament. Like, you're not. It is a drastically different fucking world that we're speaking of right now. God damn it, these people are such dickheads, bro. Oh, well, you know, my daddy paid for my school. They worked really hard and they were able to do it.
And their kids to college. Two, if you're going to, the second part of it, two, if you're going to do this tailored for the things we need, I would agree with you. No more art history majors. If you want to be an art history major, fair enough. You're not going to get a break on your loan. Plumbers, engineers, electricians, pilots, teachers, nurses, family doctors, the things we need. That's where
yeah, every one of those motherfuckers has like a child or two that needs student loans to be able to fucking go to college. So shut the fuck up.
Where it should have been given. And finally, Judge,
or
you
have
nailed
gotten
it.
them.
The cost of college. These college administrators should have to come before Congress.
This is the only part of the argument that is true. This is the only part of the argument that is adequate. College campuses are insanely expensive. They hyper-focus on bringing in the wealthiest people that have the capacity to pay for it from all around the world, not just all around the country, but all around the world. And that's the reason why they spend a shitload of money on like pools and ridiculous dumb shit and their sports programs and make college insanely and unnecessarily expensive. That is part of the reason why that is part of the reason why college education is so expensive in this country. It's ridiculous.
Much like we've hauled in healthcare.
Yeah, I racked up a ton of debt at Plummer University. Man, shut the fuck up, okay? If you're a plumber, do you want your child to also be a plumber? Or maybe your child doesn't want to be a fucking plumber. Plumbers have children too. Shut the fuck up. Also, I laid pipe to your mom, so call me the plumber now, okay? And also, that's such a dumb fucking take because I literally know, not plumbers, but like people who do contracting work, people who work in fucking construction that literally have a fuck ton of college debt because they originally had a marketing major and then decided to switch industries. So shut the fuck up. Plumbers also can have debt. Trades have to go to school too. Trades also can, people in the trades could go to community college and then switch professions. People in the trades can also originally go to full-blown like bachelor's degree offering colleges and then switch professions. It just doesn't matter. Also, again, my brother is a fucking STEM lord. He is extremely high skilled. Probably one of the more high-skilled laborers in the fucking country, in the top 1% of high-skilled laborers. That motherfucker could not pay his student loan debt, okay? So even when they talk about like STEM lords, okay? Yeah, people who are building fucking rocket ships for the American government are still not able to pay for their fucking student loan debt, even though they went to fucking state school. So shut the fuck up. There's a fuckload of STEM lords in here in this community that also have a fuckload of student loan debt.
And tobacco and others, tech companies say, tell us, where is it going? The inflation is here. Your numbers are there. What are the kids getting for that?
Do you know why they care about this? Because they know that it's a popular idea and they can't let the Democrats ever get a win. That's it. That's why. Because if they let Democrats get a win, and an anti-capitalist win nonetheless, holy shit, all of a sudden people are going to start asking questions. People are going to start saying, wait, if they cancel the debt for this, why can't they cancel more? Wait a minute, if they cancel the debt for this, like, can I get more money? You don't want to let people even dare to dream, okay? Because once people have a positive association with the actions the government takes, and it's not just the government takes money away from you and like hands it off to fucking major corporations and that's it. All of a sudden you're like, well, I don't like this. I don't like this at all, because people could turn around and say, hey, I want more from the government now. It completely goes against the Reaganite, I'm here from the government and I'm here to help attitude. Or sorry, the worst words you can hear is, I'm here from the government and I'm here to help.
That gap. And I don't know if they are. Perhaps they have a great answer. If I were the White House, look, you've done it, but you got to marry it with something where with 2 to 4 to 6 years from now, we're not coming back with this same conversation, because it can cost upwards of $100,000 a year once you look at room and board, coming home, food at schools for kids to go to college. And I just don't understand what kids are getting out of it. So I wish them the best.
What about the people that took out loans in order to buy tools to start a business, the F-150s or whatever it might be? Or even maybe they bought an electric vehicle. Maybe you could give them more of a break on.
Oh my God. Oh no. What if they did this hypothetical thing? Oh no. Well, you know, sucks to suck. Plenty of people didn't, so who cares? Like, this is the reason why they cut this, by the way. Look at this. CNN panel clashes over Biden's debt forgiveness plan. What clash, motherfucker? Fuck you. Go to jail.
When you think about this, why are you already smirking? What's happening right now? Hold on. I didn't ask a question. Just tell me why you're smirking.